I mean, quite inspirational that you dropped out and you convinced your parents to let you start an artisanal pasta company.
Oh, this wasn't directly into a pasta company. This was like opening my own business before 21 and like a partnership fallout and then working at a cafe and then working for a completely different industry, which is like the travel industry. And then this is where I came back to food. It's been a roller coaster.
Yeah, Bohemian Pursuits podcast.
Welcome to the Bohemian Pursuit podcast, set to unleash the creative in you, with your hosts, Mickey, aka Mixer the Comic, and Epi.
All right, welcome to another episode of Bohemian Pursuit. And today we have with us Vaishnavi, Bangalore's first artisanal pasta maker, who's also the owner of Con Amore. Welcome to the show, Vaishnavi.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for giving me this platform.
Hey Vaishnavi, excited to have you on, dude.
Yeah, we never had a chef on before.
This is our first chef, yeah.
Oh, really? The pressure is on.
Artisanal pasta. What is artisanal pasta? What? Oh, actually, wait. What is cornamore? What does cornamore
Conamore
mean?
actually means with love in Italian.
Okay.
And yep. So it was a very funny thing. I had actually just gone on Google and I Googled names for artisanal pasta companies, and it was words I'd never heard before. And yeah, so I just went on Google Translate and typed out with love, and whatever it translated to, that's what I picked on, and I decided to name it as Con Amore.
And it wasn't taken.
No, it was oh, funny story. It was taken for a cosmetic company.
Yeah, I mean you can make with love for any brand, really, right?
Exactly, and
I think all cosmetic companies have some more to it.
that's true.
All right. So what got you started with pasta? You like a big pasta fan? Do you enjoy pasta? Is that what got you into artisanal pasta?
So I was a huge fan of pasta, but after a point of time, I did not even eat pasta. I think for almost 2 3 years. But during the lockdown, a lot of people started baking, and baking was the only thing I was familiar with as well. But so I don't know if you know this. I used to work for a company, and because of the entire lockdown situation, I was laid off. And I knew for the next few months I wasn't going to get a job. It was going to be really hard, and that's when everybody would just scroll through Instagram, and you'd find so many people baking and trying to sell from their home kitchen itself because it was the safest thing to do. But everybody was just baking, and I didn't want to get into that competitive world again because I knew I was going to have a very very hard time. It's not easy to make your name from scratch, it really isn't. So 2 years ago, I had actually watched a video of a lady making handmade pastas, and that had just stuck on to me. And one day, my friend and I were just having a conversation, and she's like, "Dude, why don't you do something new?" And I told her a funny story. I had actually watched this video, and the very next day, you know how this ads pop up on Instagram? This popped up.
They're all listening to you.
Holy shit.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, okay, I think this is just a sign and I should start. And I made a batch and I sent it out to my friends and everything, and they really liked it. So, and I knew my friends were going to be honest, like to me at least. I hope they didn't lie because I mean, here I am. But yeah, I just sent out a few batches to a few people, and they said, "Why don't you start a random Instagram page?" And that's when I googled this Con Amore thing on Translate and stuff like that, and just started a random Instagram page that blew up very, very fast.
So you're basically like a cloud kitchen.
I am based out of my home kitchen. I mean, because of me, we don't even cook food at home anymore. We barely use the home kitchen for my thing. I mean, for home things, it's just become a corner more kitchen now. To first start off, I think that was the smartest idea to just work out of my home kitchen because everything was so unpredictable, right? Getting a space and paying the rent and everything. And I wasn't sure of where Conamore would go. It was just a trial and error sort of situation for me, but which turned out to be a hit.
So, what's your Instagram page at now? Like, how many followers do you have?
Oh, it's 3,000 something.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I think within the first 2 months I hit 1,000, and then within the next 6 months I hit 2,000. And yeah, I'm really grateful that way. I think a lot of people have had a hard time during this whole pandemic, but for some reason, I don't know, it really boomed for me.
Yeah, what is artisanal pasta?
So it's a whole process of handmade pasta, and it's completely different from packaged and stuff like that. There's a lot of handwork that goes into it. It's not machineries. It's shaping, and everything is made from scratch. When I say scratch, my dough is made from scratch. Even the cheese, the fillings, I make from scratch. Yes, so I start every morning with making cheese. I do not add.
There's fillings in your pasta.
Yeah,
What is in your pasta? Are they like
uh,
mini rolls?
ricotta cheese. So I make
So,
like
samosas.
ravioli. Yeah, I know. So the thing is, if people went to a restaurant, and I mean, I think the only restaurants back then that had ravioli and all of this was what's that place, man? Shoot, I forgot. Like if you go to Toscano and stuff, the fancy restaurants, they were the only ones serving handmade pastas, right?
So COVID got rid of your competitors.
Oh, for sure. And so, funny story once again, there was a guy that started exactly a month after me, but he went all out. Okay. I knew like absolutely nothing when it came to social media. I didn't know what it was like to create content, or, oh God, it was so stressful in the beginning. And I actually started Con Amore with my last salary that I got. Okay, but there was another dude, I don't know what backup he had. He went all out on social media. Okay, with like a great intro video and stuff like that. And it was crazy. I was like, wait, 1 second, what am I even doing? Should I put in more effort? What should I be doing? What am I doing wrong, you know? But at the end of the day, I started doing things I was comfortable with. And
And like, so was this like a YouTube video that you watched that got you into this whole thing?
yeah, it was actually
On
this woman in, I think, Seattle who makes amazing pastas. Okay, and I had watched her video 3 years ago, and that was 2 years before I started Corn Amore. And it really stuck on to me because it is not easy to shape pastas or make them look beautiful at all times. And it's crazy the amount of effort that goes in.
Yeah, can you just take us through that process? Like, what's it like to make artisanal pasta? I mean, I know you make the dough and then you lay it out and you roll it and you cut it, but
Yeah,
uh,
he knows a
Yeah.
lot more than I do,
So,
so I would like to
you
know.
So, like, you know how all these pastas, the packaged pastas that you have, are all from machines, by the way. They're all extruder pastas. It's not handmade per se. Yeah. So, handmade is basically like you combine eggs and flour, salt, everything together, and you need to knead the dough for about 15-20 minutes. It's a very painful process. So initially, I remember when I first started Cornamore, I didn't have a mixing bowl, neither did I have sheet roller. I didn't have any of this. So I used to make pasta dough from scratch and knead every dough for like 15-20 minutes. It was so painful. And after that dough rests for about 30 minutes to an hour, I had to roll them out in like thin sheets. And when I say thin sheets, I'm pretty sure you would have seen like lasagna sheets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so for
Mm-hmm.
any type of pasta that I need to make, I had to roll it out into thin, thin sheets.
Yeah, getting it thin is the hard part. I mean, isn't that the machine that like squishes them together? It's a wheel, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's a manual thing. Like you need to keep turning it around until it becomes super thin. So I remember when I first started, it was like crazy. I used to go to sleep with arm pain and headaches and back pain and everything possible.
Yeah,
But
it's a great kneading dough is a great forearm workout.
oh, for sure. My nerves are popping. Like, it's crazy. My hands are way too manly for a woman. But yeah, completely agree. Good arm workout.
What are your top shapes? Like, what do you make the best? Like, when you say shapes, I'm thinking in my head like the cookie cutter
Haha,
shapes.
no.
Is it that?
You wish. You wish. But yeah, see, they're like, there's something like ravioli, right? You get cutters for those. So you need to put like a layer of pasta, then the filling, and then another layer of pasta, and then you need to cut them. And you need to make sure they're sealed. So when you like boil them, they don't break in water. So there's a lot of things that you need to keep in mind, so it doesn't break in water, because this is fresh pasta, right? It's not like the packaged ones that you can just leave in boiling water and come back after 10-15 minutes. So fresh pasta is like, it's ready in like 2 to 3 minutes. It's boiled, it's ready. All you need to do is put it in the sauce.
What was the first few shapes that you like attempted? Was it like a little gingerbread man kind of shape? Do you do
No,
stuff like that?
it was as basic as a circle. It was just a round ravioli. And so I didn't know where this was going to go, if it was worth investing on cutters or machines or anything, right? Because you know that there's a huge chunk of people that would be super interested in trying it out, but also people would just be like, I mean, I can go eat it at a restaurant, why should I order it from here? And everything was very unpredictable when COVID first hit. um, so I just went on Amazon and I found these round cookie cutters that was like, I think, $100 or something, and I ordered that and I just started with that. I just wanted to see if this was going to pick up or what. And even when it comes to all of these fettuccine cutters and stuff, that I did not invest on. I cut it by myself. I made sure every cut was within half a centimeter. It was all perfectly aligned. It was crazy in the first month.
And now you have the cutters, the right cutters, and the machines and all of that.
Yeah, so I went ahead and bought like, initially I didn't know whether to directly go for the branded stuff or just do a trial. And I remember, I mean, I was very hesitant on putting money into this because this was my own money and it was my last salary. So I had to make sure I wasn't going to lose all of it. It was either take all the risk or nothing at all. So I bought this
Yeah,
machine
you
and
were Jeff Bezos.
I had to just make sure, like, I did something at least. And I remember buying this pasta machine that broke within the first 1 or 2 weeks. And I was so upset. And I realized that there was no point buying these things that are non branded. And I directly just, within the first 2 months, I saved up and I went into like buying a KitchenAid and a Marcato, which is like an original pasta maker. So things were way more easier post that.
When you say last salary, what are you doing? What were you doing before this?
I was actually working for a company which was a travel based company. So when COVID first hit, obviously that was the first industry to lose all their money, right? They weren't able to keep us, so I was unfortunately, or I don't know, fortunately let go. And getting a job was really hard. And I remember crying every single day after I lost my job because I was really dependent on that. Because that gives you that power of just being financially independent for yourself. And that's always been very important for me. So when I lost that job, I was falling apart. But I don't know, somehow I just built the courage to get myself together and start something on my own. And I always knew at the end of the day I was going to do something by myself. So I think this was my moment that changed my life.
Yeah, you've always been somebody that's like taken risks and just gone out there and like you even you had another business before that, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So,
Messy Eats.
messy eats. I had a cafe, and I think it was 2018 or 19. Yeah. So, I had this one aim that before I turned 21, I need to start a business on my own. Like, I know it's a very stupid thing to do. I should be like balling life in my 20s, but
Oh no!
No, no,
Why?
no. You're on the right track.
Yeah,
yeah,
You
really.
have to
and
falling in your own
yeah.
way. Like you'd be
No,
chilling
back
after this.
then I was so hesitant and I was like, am I being stupid? Because I remember everyone saying a degree is so important.
Yeah, we've all heard it.
I don't have a degree. I dropped out in my final year. And
Yay, our second dropout. Our other
wow.
dropout was a tattoo artist. He made
Oh,
it big. He's,
really?
he's big though. And now you.
Yeah, and trust me, I think we are so much more gutsy than people with degrees. They're just like, no backup, it's fine. We'll manage, we'll get our way out of this. And I think it takes a lot more for us compared to other people. A degree is just a backup, is what I feel. And for us, just walking into this world of so much competition and, there's so much out there to face. And if we are willing to take that risk, I think it's the best thing that we can do for ourselves.
Yeah, shit, but it must have been super hard. Like, deciding to drop out and start something on your own.
I
Can't imagine it
mean,
was easy.
see, when I
The
first
social
joined
stigma
college,
that comes with it.
oh, I had, and the second thing was you being a girl, you're gonna drop out. Are you sure? I think I was like the only girl in my college that has ever dropped out. So, yeah, and I remember someone telling me, oh, you think you're cool. Oh, yeah, my brother. He's like, oh, you think you're cool that you're dropping out? And I'm just like, no, I think I'm just being sensible dropping out because I knew my
Wow.
heart and head was not in there. My heart was so not into walking into college every day. So it was a lot. And me being the youngest in the family, I had to take so much from everybody. Like, how can you not have a degree? And yeah, but it's fine. At the end of the day, I went my way.
That's pretty bohemian of you.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. And it took me a
Yeah.
lot. And I knew I was gonna get a lot from people. I knew they were gonna say something or the other. And I think my main fear was my mom being disappointed in me. But
Hmm.
one thing I told her was if you let me drop out today, I'll make you so much more happy than me just being in college and not doing something that I want. I just gave her my word to put her trust in me. And I think like
Wow.
yeah, it was just that one conversation with my mom and she said, if you drop out, I'll be so disappointed. And I said, trust me, if I drop out, you will be more than happy. Just give me a few years and I'll prove it.
Shit, dude. I sat through engineering because I saw when I told my mom I wanted to quit,
Hmm.
she started crying and she was
Oh
like, "No,
yeah.
no, no, you can't. Like, at least finish engineering and then you go do what you want."
Or
And you
But
can be
every
a
Indian
junkie after.
parent. No, I mean,
yeah, the
you can't
engineering.
blame them, right? They have certain
No, no, no.
expectations
Yeah,
from their kids, and I mean, it's not good for
yeah,
them.
and to some extent, they're just looking out for your best interests, right?
For sure, they always need to check if you have something to fall back on. And it's a very safe thing to
Correct.
do for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that also is like a safety net. Having an education is a safety net in its own
For
way.
sure. Yeah, and
Yeah,
even
but
they've
then I mean,
been.
if you can ball it out, if you can make the kind of sacrifices that you are right now,
Oh, for
I'm
sure.
pretty sure you can achieve whatever you put your mind to. I
For
mean,
sure.
quite inspirational that you dropped out and you convinced your parents to
Oh, it
let
was
you start
hard.
an
Yeah, that's
artisanal
right.
pasta company.
It was
That's
hard. Oh, this wasn't directly into a pasta company. This was like opening my own business before 21 and like a partnership fallout and then working at a cafe and then working for a completely different industry, which is like the travel industry. And then this is where I came back to food. It's been a roller coaster.
Did you were you like a chef at a cafe? Were you or were you just was that a side hustle?
I was just an assistant manager, which now I think I'm like, did I really do that? Did I seriously go and take orders from people and do this? But my main agenda was to learn. It's like I don't think you should ever care about how can I do something that's way low or something. You should never think. You should just go out there and do whatever it is because that one day is definitely gonna help you. You might not think of it then, but my only thing is if I do it today, it's just going to help me in the future.
what are the struggles of a artisanal pasta chef?
So see, the thing is, since you're making everything from scratch, right? You need to make sure it's the exact same every time you deliver. See, when you go to a restaurant, right, it's the same process. Someone's trained to do the same thing every single day. But for me, I was walking into this with like zero experience. And in the beginning, it was so hard for me to keep up because people expect, once they try something, they want it to go to another level. They're not willing to stay on the same lines. So I had to do a lot of experimenting. And I knew just one type of pasta or like two types of pasta, which was penne, fettuccine, all of these normal things that you can just walk into a restaurant and have. And when I started this, I had to learn so much. I had to learn words of I couldn't even pronounce, to be honest. And I had to go on Google and like watch YouTube videos and learn how to pronounce these words. It was just crazy. And picking up on these skills is not easy either. Like you're not going to get the shape right every single time. It's just you need to keep trying and trying and trying until you perfect it. So like when people order and stuff, they're like, oh, this looks so pretty, and I like I don't have the heart to dig into it or eat it and stuff. But they don't realize like the effort and practice that constantly goes into this to perfect it every single time. It takes a lot.
So the you're saying the replicability is it because pasta you're just making you have to make so many of like one kind of pasta just
Yeah.
to
Yeah, and you
like
need to
for a
make
meal.
sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you need to make sure every time it weighs the same. It's the same quantity, it's the same quality. Yeah, it's really, really hard to keep up with the same thing.
So Conamore started off with how many kinds of pasta?
Three, that was my aim to at least know three things. So when customers came back, I had something to say and I didn't sound dumb. Because, like, I mean, I think it was very hard, I didn't know much about Italian food. I didn't know how to pronounce these things. I didn't know how to make any of this. And I was getting into an industry that I had zero knowledge about.
That's very ballsy, dude.
Oh,
Takes a lot of
God.
balls.
Oh,
Gigantic,
sure.
gigantic balls.
Oh, it was a
But
long.
where's Conamore now?
Sorry?
Like how many different kinds of pasta does Conamore have now?
Oh, now I think close to 30, 30. Yeah.
30 different kinds of pasta. Is that just like difference in color as well, or is that all different shapes and
Color,
like
shapes,
fillings?
fillings.
What's unique about your pastas?
So the first thing is that it's completely handmade, it's preservative free, and I don't use any artificial colors. One thing I noticed was, as a kid, I'm pretty sure your parents did not allow you to eat any colorful candy or anything because it's artificial coloring at the end of the day, right?
I don't eat sugar. I've never liked sugar, so
What?
never
Are
a
you
problem.
human? Oh my God. Okay, that's
I
crazy.
don't want to lose my toes, bro.
Oh, damn. This is a whole new thing, not liking sugar. That's crazy, though.
Mickey has one sip of Coke a week, and he's loaded with sugar. That's it. Just the
Are
one
you
sip, and he's done.
serious?
Yeah,
Dude.
like once a week, I have to do it because my mom forces me to.
Isn't that like a good sugar rush, though, for those few hours?
Uh, sorta, maybe. I don't
You
know. I
don't
still
like.
don't like it. I just do it out of force.
I mean, I didn't want to give people unhealthy things or something that wasn't going to be good for their body. So I started experimenting with natural colors. So if you see my pasta, if you check out my Instagram page, everything is made out of natural colors. So they're derived from just vegetables. Right, and I didn't want to use all of these artificial colors that come in a bottle. So that's another roller coaster. Sitting and cutting the vegetables, making a puree of out of them, and straining it, and then making the dough, getting the consistency right. If you see my Instagram page, right, if you see all my pasta, they're different colors. And I wanted to make sure that I wasn't using any chemicals and artificial coloring in my food because a lot of kids were going to love, like, I mean, I think we all as kids love colorful foods, right? And we weren't able to eat it because all it was all synthetic coloring. So I read a few articles on how to derive natural food coloring from fruits and vegetables. I started experimenting with that, and I started using the same. I started using spinach for green, turmeric for yellow, beetroot for red, and mixing of colors here and there. It was a lot of experimenting because during the pandemic a lot of people started caring about what goes into their system, and which is very good, to be honest. And if you ordered something, you'd always think twice, or you'd have a question like, is this healthy, is it unhealthy? I don't want to feed my kids this, neither do I want to consume it. So I had to make sure they were comfortable with ordering everything, and it was completely okay to consume all of this.
Should I imagine turmeric pasta sold out pretty fast? I mean, yellow
I
pasta.
mean, no, you know what? You can't taste it. Once you boil it, you cannot taste it.
Yeah, but it comes
So,
with all the health benefits, right?
oh
I
yeah,
mean, it
that's
still
for
has
sure.
turmeric in there, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. I mean, personally, I hate the smell and taste of turmeric, but yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Good for you. Like, if you ever get married, they're going to rub you with turmeric. They're going to marinate you.
Oh God, that's another thing I don't believe in. I don't believe in all of these ceremonies and stuff. So I'm lucky. I'm gonna escape that.
You're gonna stay married to pasta.
Oh,
Make make a giant pasta with some filling.
why not? Why not? Yeah, right. And if they don't serve pasta at my wedding, I think it's the worst thing that I could ever do.
Oh, right.
The night before my wedding,
Instead of
I'm gonna
flowers,
be
you throw
making.
pasta at you.
Yeah, yeah. And the night before my wedding, I'm gonna be making like 20,000 pieces of pasta so I can serve it at my wedding day.
It's a bulk order. You can make your own order and pay yourself.
Why am I getting married?
Do you have like a track of how much pasta Con Amore has sold?
I think a little over 3,000 boxes for sure. And then I make sauces as well, right? So, I mean, close to 2,000, 3,000 containers of sauce as well. So when I first started Con Amore, I used to just do pastas, and a lot of people started asking me like for sauces because I think it's just more convenient, right? So I started making sauces as well, and slowly I started getting into Italian desserts.
So
So
are there some sauces that go better with certain kinds of pasta?
yeah, yeah, definitely. So when I make my menu, I change my menu every week, by the way, because I want people to experiment and I want them to keep trying new things. You need to always make sure they're coming back. And this is a trick actually that I learned from one of my favorite restaurants, Brood Garden. They change their menu every 6 months. because they want their customers to try out new things and experiment and stuff. So I change my menu every week. So I make sure there are three types of pastas and two sauces that would go with all three types of pastas. So it's a lot of thinking that goes into making my weekly menus as well.
That's awesome. Like I'm not huge on pasta. I don't eat too much pasta. I'm say manna sambar and all we'll eat. No, no, but I would definitely love to try your pasta. I mean that I would definitely like, but I'm not big. I just say I don't know too much.
Yeah, yeah, and that's
But how do people
completely
like
okay.
it?
Oh, it was a great response. See, first because it was something new, right? You definitely, I don't know, you've heard of these pull me up cakes or whatever.
No, what are they?
Okay, so it's like cake, and then they wrap it with like a whatever plastic sort of thing, and they pour in a liquid sauce sort of thing. Okay, so when you pull the plastic up, the entire liquid falls down, and you know how everyone was obsessed with boomerangs, right?
Yeah.
So it was to attract that sort of
Right.
crowd. Yeah, so it's everyone was just getting very experimental. And during the pandemic, like everyone was so used to their same old life, right? But once the entire pandemic hit, a lot of people want to try new things, experiment, and they wouldn't mind, you know. And yeah, I feel like it was a huge risk that I was taking in the beginning. As I said, it was a hit or miss, right? So you really need to give the crowd what they expect from you every single time.
So how well received is it in Bangalore? Like when you started off, like is it well received at this point?
Yeah, yeah, it really is. And I think in just 1 year, I've definitely gone a long way. And I remember just when I first started, I didn't know how to go about it. So I started just posting on Instagram and letting people know, like, you know, I'm based out of Sanjay Nagar and all of these simple things. And one of my customers from all the way in Belandur, that's post Whitefield, she messaged me and she said, why don't you start doing apartment deliveries? And that way, when I started apartment deliveries, I think there were so many people that got to try it. And now everyone in Bangalore, I mean, I think I've hit almost every area in Bangalore now in the last 1 year.
Is it mostly apartments?
No, it's personal. I mean, like direct pickups, but on the weekends, I try to deliver to apartments if I'm able to manage the orders.
Shucks, so there'll be all these aunties that are taking their 4 o'clock walk in the evening talking about your pasta and these apartments.
Abby, can you please stop with the aunties? Because I feel like I'm mentally an auntie and I'm close to getting physically as an auntie as well.
No, dude, not you. I'm just imagining they're going for the evening walk.
And they're
As,
like, oh, you know this girl who makes artisanal
yeah,
pasta.
no. Like at this point, you've been doing this for so long. They'll be like, "Oh, have you tried that green color pasta?" Yeah, no, no, I like that.
For
I like that
sure.
yellow one better.
For sure. And when I first started, right, I started making like super colorful pastas. Okay. I didn't do just green or just red. I used to do all colors in one box. So they were like,
Oh,
whoa, what is this?
gems.
Is this edible? And a lot of people were like, yo, I can trip on this thing, you know? It's so cool.
It's like gems for pasta.
Oh, for sure. It's
So
like, you know, Mhm.
what's your favorite
What's your favorite?
shape that you like? That's something that's sold over and over again.
So there's something called capillity, which is like the easiest one to make, and it's the shape of a baby's bum. So I think I really like that one. Every week I change my menu, right? So I try to put a new shape every week and a different filling as well and everything. So I make sure it's not repetitive. I make sure like it's not ravioli every week. And even if I do repeat ravioli, I make sure like the fillings are completely different.
And you're doing the deliveries as well to these guys? Just sending it by Dunzo?
So when I first started, I used to literally book 10 danzos a day.
Wow.
But I realized it was too stressful because like managing everything from like prepping, making, packing, and sending out is too stressful. So I got myself registered on Google Maps, and I got WhatsApp Business, and I made sure, there were these quick replies. So I could just type that out and send it to my customers, and they just assign a dunzo and, pick it up from my place.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. So,
Yeah.
like automated replies, is that what it is? I've never used WhatsApp Business.
Not so automated replies would just be like, "Hi, thank you for contacting us." But there's something called quick reply. It's like, I don't know if you know, shortcuts basically.
Okay.
Yeah, these canned responses. So I
Right, right,
just
right.
send that out to them. I just like put all my payment details and send it out. And almost like 1 year, 2 months after Con Amore, I'm finally getting a
Right,
website
right,
because
right.
it's too stressful talking to every customer, messaging them and confirming their orders and everything.
Hmm. Do you know if there's anything like this, in other parts of India?
Mumbai has it, Delhi has it, but it is super expensive. Like, I remember when I first started, I didn't really look into pricing. I just wanted to be super affordable for any sort of crowd. But when I looked into like the same things in Delhi and Mumbai, they were so expensive. And you always need to judge the crowd, if they're going to be able to pay this much and actually buy it. And I didn't want people to just hold back because they couldn't afford it. So I made sure mine was super affordable and I give them a good quantity and everything. So it's worth paying for it.
How much does a box retail for? Like, how much do you sell
So
for?
I charge 350. If it's stuffed pasta, it's about 15 to 18 pieces depending on what the filling is. And if it is a plain pasta like a fettuccine and stuff, it's 500 grams for 350 rupees. But if you check out the same things in other cities, they're almost like 200 to 300 bucks more than me.
Have you talked to those guys? Have you reached out to like the community here? Is there any sort of interaction like that?
Oh no, I haven't. I honestly haven't till date. There's one girl though. I've just messaged her like because I think she started a little before me, fairly new though. And I needed to source a few things. But in India, something as simple as durum wheat and all of these are very expensive. So I just message like normally like, hey, how are you doing, could you help me out with this stuff? And to be very honest, they're really sweet, but they'll never give you all the details.
What do you mean? Like she didn't share her supplies details with you?
Nope, even though I'm in a different city.
City, and you can't. There's no way you all compete, right? Because
No,
like
you cannot.
pasta, does it have a shelf life?
Yeah, so any stuffed pasta, it can be deep frozen for a week, but the plain pastas can be deep frozen for 3 months.
Do you use any preservatives? Are you
Zero
using?
preservatives. That's the
Okay,
main thing about me, right? No artificial coloring and no preservatives.
all right. And
And no
is that
non-veg.
vegan?
No
Because I remember you
non-veg.
talking about it.
No non-veg. I mean, I do use eggs, on like in certain doughs, but I do not make non-veg. I definitely wanted to cater to everybody, but at the same time, I did not want them to be uncomfortable. I do have vegan pastas as well. So when I first started, it was like complete like dairy stuff and everything. But I remember someone messaging me and asking if I had vegan options, and I was like, whoa, why haven't I thought about that? And I started experimenting with these things. So a few years ago, I worked at a vegan cafe, but before that, I had zero knowledge about what veganism was. So I picked up on a few things there. As I said, you do things in life and it definitely helps you one day. At that point of time, working at a vegan cafe did not make sense for me. But today, running my own business, there was so much knowledge that I picked up on back then, which I can use now. So I started substituting um, dairy products with cashew cheese instead.
Crazy.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, allergic to so many things, like something as basic as mushroom, and so I always try to give people something that they want. I don't want people to feel left out. And slowly I started getting requests for whole wheat pastas because everyone was concerned about their diets. So I started that option as well. And slowly I got requests for gluten free, and I started that as well. So it takes a lot of experimenting.
Wow, I've no idea how that would taste because I pretty much eat all meat. It's meat.
Yeah, I feel pretty left out as a non-vegetarian.
Hey, listen, you know what? All my non-vegetarian customers are still very, very happy ordering vegetarian stuff.
And then how is it non-vegetarian?
No, like I know they ask for non-veg stuff, and I just tell them, I'm sorry, I don't make it in the same kitchen. I do have plans one day. I definitely want to start non-veg options, but I just don't want it to be in the same kitchen. I know that a lot of people are uncomfortable because of the same utensils being used, it's the same kitchen and stuff, and I don't want my customers to be in that discomfort.
Right, that's fair. That's fair. Get that.
Yeah.
Hmm. So, what was it like growing up as Vaishnavi? Like, how did you? I mean, why did you have this idea that by 21 you want to start a business?
So, the thing about me is that I'm the only child, okay, and I always knew that I had to do something. And my mom's a single mom. I lost my dad at a very young age. I was just 9 months old. So, I've always known that I wanted to be as independent as her. And she's had like businesses over the years, and she's been super successful. So I think it's not that expectation that she has from me, but I just wanted to be there. I just wanted to be like her. So I remember at 21, she was like killing it in life, and I just knew one thing, that I had to be like a little closer to where she had reached. But I knew I couldn't go that far. She was way more successful in her 20s than me.
What did your mom do?
She
What did she
had
do?
my dad and mom they had industries, steel industries. But after my dad passed away, like it was quite hard, right, managing a child and industries. So my mom decided to completely shut that, and she started. She had a parlor before that, before I was born as well. But she moved, she got a bigger space, and then she expanded and she started her boutique, which is her own clothing line and stuff. And yeah, so I felt like I had to reach a certain level, to be like
Big shoes to fill.
for sure,
Yeah.
you know.
Does she still have her own clothing line? Is she still doing
No,
it?
no, she's retired and now it's me. I'm taking care of everything. And that's another thing that makes me feel super proud, that I'm able to support her now. I'm able to take care of everything.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. That's a real
Yeah.
success story there.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
hats off to you for pushing it.
Yeah, I know. And at times I feel like all of us have the feeling like, what are we doing with our lives? I still have those moments, but then I think about the fact that, in my 20s, I'm standing on my own feet. And that's a huge deal in today's generation. I'm not dependent on anyone. In every way, I'm like independent.
Shit, dude. That's yeah, that's brilliant. Shit.
Yeah, that's an inspirational story in its own.
Yeah, man. My. I mean, like, I still ask my dad to buy all the food at home. I hate splitting the bill with him.
No, it's hard. Like I agree, but you know what? I don't think even your parents want to come and ask you, right? First, they want to make sure you have your life sorted.
Correct, correct,
But
correct.
here,
And
like, yeah,
different people. I mean, different people like do well at different like phases in their lives. So
that's for sure. And I want, like, this was a very personal thing. Like I wanted to take up responsibility at a young age. I really want to hustle now. And in my 30s and 40s, when I know everyone's going to be pushing themselves at that age, but I want a ball life at that age, my 30s and 40s, and I just want to look at retirement by the time before I hit 50.
That's crazy.
That's an awesome goal to have, dude.
That's a pretty
Yeah.
sweet.
Those are the years that, you sit and recollect about life, and I don't want to have those times like I should have done this, but now I'm too old. I still want to be able to do it.
Sweet dude, crazy, damn inspirational. So, did you? What did you pick up from your mom? Like, did you would have spent time around her, like growing up, in the way she does business, right?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
about you?
So at a very young age, she used to take me wherever, right? I like, even if it was to the salon, I still remember at a very young age sitting on the counter, and there was this huge picture of me at the salon, which is so embarrassing now. But back then, people used to be like, "Oh my God, who is that cute kid?" And they always knew me as the cute kid in the picture. So I used to sit in the counter, and slowly I picked up on, how important customer service is, making sure they're happy and satisfied every single time. So this is something very important I picked up from my mom and her business, talking to customers, making sure they're comfortable, if they were happy with what they received, you know. It's a lot that you can build on.
Yeah, shit, dude, pretty sweet.
Yeah, and managing money. Oh God, I learned managing money at a very young age, so I'm really grateful for that.
That's
Hmm.
good. I mean, they don't teach you that shit in school. I
They
mean, so
really don't. I think the only thing I've ever utilized whatever I learned in school was speaking English. That's it, and like maybe math, calculating addition, subtraction. That's it.
Yeah, but you would have learned pretty good math sitting behind behind a counter too.
I'm still really bad at it. Thank you for the calculators that have been invented, but like my mom keeps telling me, she's like, dude, I don't even use a calculator to calculate. You need to use a calculator to add like 3 plus 2 or something. And I'm like, let me be.
our teachers told us when we were kids, don't get too used to doing all this. You want to have calculators all your life.
Rubbish.
Rubbish.
Lies. These are the lies that they tell you.
Shit, dude.
Oh,
Crazy.
and I was so grateful. So in my ninth and 10th, I did IGCSE, okay, and I was forced to do math. And in Safaris and stuff, oh, I studied in Safaris for 11 years of my life. What a waste. But I remember, like, I had to calculate everything with a pen and paper. It was so stressful. But when I did IGCSE in Aditi, I was allowed to use a calculator. And I was so grateful to take a calculator in for an examination.
Yeah, it didn't make sense, dude. Like, why the heck a calculator is not loved? I mean, we got calculator. They allowed us to take calculators in from like engineering. Not even 11th and 12th. We didn't have
Yeah,
a calculator back then. Like, and you couldn't have the scientific one. But like, that's the technology that's there. I mean, you're going to be living with calculators. How can you?
yeah.
Why do you need to learn? It just goes to show how outdated our education system is. And like,
I swear they just want to pressurize these kids, and trust me, they turn out to be daft in life. Okay, you pressurize them and they're going to lose their way later on.
I mean, like, so many people end up in college and like just doing what is expected of them, what they think is the right thing for them. I mean, again, it's like everyone's just looking out for the best in you, but
Yeah, but
um,
it's super stressful, right? You're so um you're so unsatisfied doing these things that people expect from you, and that's the worst thing you can put yourself through.
yeah, I guess the biggest lie is that you can't make it if you don't have a degree.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still, I think for a 24-year-old, I'm killing it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd
I
agree.
still get, like, I still know people who tell me, like, how are you going to survive with a degree? What if this doesn't work out? What do you have to fall back on? My only answer is I have myself to fall back on. I have my confidence, and I know that I'll survive, you know? That degree is not going to get me anywhere.
So, what kind of plans do you have for Con Amore, like going forward? Do you have an idea of vision for the company?
I do. So first thing is I want to start supplying to restaurants, but I don't know how well that's going to work, because I mean, if they need it at a wholesale price, I will have to decrease my pricing, and it's a lot of effort that goes in, and I'm not willing to do that. If not, I just want to start a small restaurant. I don't want it to be fancy or anything. A quick dine-in experience, but just fresh pastas where there's a live counter in front of you and we make it for you within 5 to 10 minutes max.
Well, like the
Wow.
whole process is in front of you.
Exactly.
Like a Subway, but pasta.
Can you not compare me to a subway for heaven's sake? Oh God, let's just stick on to live counter.
No, no,
Subway.
keep the life count. I want to see my pasta made.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
I'll be some
the
education.
yeah, and the main reason I want to do that is because I want people to see the effort that goes into it and all the skills that goes into it, you know?
Yeah, I bet it must be difficult. So,
Oh.
I just want to know where can people hit you up? Where can we get some of your pasta?
Instagram, my page is at Con Amore BLR, and
Okay.
you can definitely WhatsApp me. There's a link in my bio, and hopefully within the next 2 days, my website is going to be set up. So it makes it a little more easier for me and my customers.
Oh, brilliant! Awesome. So
Crazy.
it was great. Thank you so much for
Actually, by the time this episode comes out, your website's already live.
Yup, I really hope so.
Yeah. So what's the website called?
I'll let you know.
Okay.
The thing is, I'm just tying up with a company that,
Okay.
like, it's called Air Menus. So hopefully it'll be conamore.airmenus.in.
Right.
Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see what I get.
Sweet, sweet stuff. Sweet stuff.
Okay. Thank you guys so much. It was super interesting.
yeah, we had a great time talking to you. Hope like
Mm.
all the best for your company. All the best for everything that you do. Hopefully you're back on the show again.
Yeah, dude.
When
We'd
you're
love
For
like
that.
a
sure.
big
And
big.
hopefully it's with something new. It's with my next business plan that I'm already working on.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Crazy,
Keep
crazy,
following
crazy.
that bohemian way, man.
Definitely. Thank you guys for this opportunity. It's
Till
really
next time, Vaishnavi. Bye bye.
thank you guys so much.
Yeah, Bohemian Pursuits podcast.
So tune in, listen to us wherever you get your podcasts.
Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. You can catch us there.
See y'all. Cheers.